What's happening, guys? David Womack here, and I just wanted to bring y'all along with this kill site today. And actually, this is the remains of a deer right here, and unfortunately it actually got hit right on the road, on this road that runs parallel on one part of my property here, and it got thrown down this hill. And unfortunately the hide and the meat was pretty bad by the time I got back to it and found it. And I've been just letting nature do its process, and I've actually put a game camera on and was able to film some of the predators coming by. And it's been really cool to be able to watch that process, and these trickster coyotes coming over here and nibbling away and trying to pull away with the hide and the bones and meat and whatever. But I've been also just letting nature do its thing so I can come back and collect some of these bones and utilize parts of this deer. And yesterday I had a fun time going fishing and caught a few good trout, and I wanted to utilize some of these bones to actually carve up some bone hooks. And so there's a few pieces that I'm kind of after today, and let's see if we can utilize some of that. So I'm gonna show y'all right here this deer, and what I'm really after is the coyote pretty much got a lot of the head, and I was really after one of these nasal bones right here for a hook. And I think it's still left a part of it here, and so I'm going to utilize these jaw bones, and I'm going to go ahead and boil them up and get some of this meat and blood and make sure the bacteria is cleaned off of them, and sharpen some of these edges right here already in kind of a hook form. And then this guy right here is definitely already in a nice, could create a nice hook right here. So I'm going to collect some of these. I'm going to let nature keep doing its thing. There's already some worms and maggots and beetles and whatever's going on in there, and I'm going to collect these, boil them up, and then start sanding them down with some stone and working them. And also right now we're in early spring, so nettles are coming in, fiddleheads are coming in, and collecting fiddleheads. They're a type of fern that are barely starting to sprout up, and it's a really good vegetable packed with nutrients and vitamins. And also the nettles that are coming up, I love to dry them out for the nettle tea for the leaves, and then also the stalk, being able to use that for cordage for our fishing line for these primitive hook and fishing line sets that we're going to be building. All right, guys, let's go on to the next part. All right, so here we are just boiling the bones. We'll let this go for 10-20 minutes on low. You can throw some soap in there to help break down the grease and fat, and then once it cools down, we'll start sanding the bones to the shape that we want. All right, here we are after the bones have dried out from being boiled, and we've got our sandstone, and we've got our jaws and a small rib and this nasal bone. And this is the one that I really want to work on here, and I think it's going to be the easiest to start off with and finish right now. So we're just going to take this guy and literally shave all this down and all this, and then probably actually reduce the length of this to somewhere in this neighborhood, and then this will be our tie-off point. I'll probably put a little notch here for the string and so forth. So yeah, let's get busy.
All right, well, I was applying a little bit too much pressure to this nasal bone, and man, it is definitely very fragile, and it just snapped right on me. A few different pieces of bone now, and this guy is still very sharp, and I'm thinking I might be able to still use this, maybe even for a double-sided fishing hook, and might even be able to apply it to another set. And I'm thinking about carving a 45. This is a rib bone right here, and I might just, really sand this down to a good 45, cut it off to somewhere around here, maybe add this like that and tie it on, and then that would be my fishing hook. And I don't know if it would be easier to just sharpen this while it's still long or not. Whoa, wow, that is sharpening. That sandstone just took that down quick. Look at that. Put that 45 on there real quick. Wow. So the thought, just like so. I don't know if it's, this one is pretty nice. Just cut that right there, like that. And hopefully, yeah, just like that. And we'll smooth this out right here. Couldn't believe how quickly that rib bone just went right down like that. You can see the bone marrow in there too. Alright, so on that rib bone that we shaved down, I'm going to show you how to attach it to the other sharp piece. And we're just going to lay this string across the sharp point, over, under. It's just going to hold it in place like that. Under. Over. Under. Over. And I like to do a little cross too. Just like so. Then we can just keep coming up this right here and tying these together. There it is. I have been working on this and getting it into this nice little hook shape right here, and it's coming out pretty good. The nettles have been growing for a few weeks now, so it'd be nice to go see how tall they are and what they might produce as far as medicinal tea and for the stock for the string. I know I've got plenty of willow in the backyard here that connects to the creek. I also have this little rose bush out here that I don't know exactly who I saw use a rose bush one time, but every time I pass that bush, I think, oh, fishing hook. So I'm thinking about giving it a little use. Okay, so we broke off our little point right here and just sanding this down. We put a couple little notches here and this hook. And there we go. Nice little hook. So here's the bush that I was talking about. And it's got all these thorns on it. So I was going to collect this one with this double edge right here. And we'll just take it right there. Alright, I decided to go ahead and make one more hook out of this guy right here. Just a real natural hook shape. I already started, well, lightly made a line right here, and now I'm slowly scoring this, and with this obsidian, so it's a pretty nice little score there. Oh man, well, there went that idea. All right, off to the next one, I guess. All right, well, I've got another jawbone here. I actually have this for making bone handle knives. For my flint knap knives here, and they slide in like this, and this is the whole handle. So I'm gonna end up cutting this off anyways, so I'm gonna go ahead and try this again and score it right here with this piece of obsidian and see if we can get it to where it won't break off on us again. So I'm gonna go, this jaw is a little bit bigger, so I'm going to go a little lower so I don't snap it off where it's real strong, but I'm definitely going to score it a lot more than I did on that last one. Okay, I'm really surprised with this obsidian how well it's making just a really fine cut line through this bone. And I'm working on to the other side here. So I'm gonna take, got a couple of knapping knife tools here. there it went. Perfect. All right, so you can kind of see where the hook is right here. And we got our sandstone, and we're gonna start sanding this guy down. Sanding, oh man, we got a lot to do right here. And then get this guy sharpened down as well, which hopefully, with how thick this is, it's going to make a good point. So here we go. Hopefully this guy doesn't break with all this time and effort put into it. But it's all experiments, you know, and it's all for fun. So all right, well, I'm gonna keep on working on this and I'll bring you back. All right. Well, I'm getting a little bit more brave. I was sanding on this and I'm like, man, this is gonna take forever. So hopefully my impatience is not gonna ruin this hook, but I've been cutting on this guy for a good while. I feel like I got deep enough on this side. This is the one that's been kind of tough because it's a little bit more curved inside, so it's a little bit more difficult to get this blade in there real good. But I feel like I'm ready to give it a little whack here, so let's see. Maybe even with this stone here. There it went. Sweet. Man, I'm really happy with that clean cut with this obsidian. Wow. All right, well, we're gonna start working these edges off. That was a lot of work that I just saved myself, so I'm happy with that. Almost wondering about scoring it right here and seeing what happens with that. Why not? It's been working pretty good, so. Well, we're getting braver and braver, and this is just a whole learning process, really. And about got it ready. To try to break this off right here. Alright, I heard something snapping. I wonder if I put this obsidian just like this. Yeah, look at that. Bam. Boom. Just like that. It's not liking that piece. All right. Getting closer. Man, that just saved me a lot of time. Okay, so we've got this guy still whittling it down. It's really coming and making it shape. I'm having kind of some difficulties with how this hook is shaped here, of getting this guy sharp with this curve right here. But I think all in all, I like how it came out, and this would probably be could probably be a good salmon fishing hook right here. So there's that one. Alright, so we ended up making a hook from a part of a nasal bone and a rib that we tied together. A double-sided gorge hook. A possible hook from a rose bush, and we notched it on the end here. And then we have a few sets. I'm thinking probably like a little small perch hook, little trout hook, and a bigger salmon hook. So there you go. All right. Pretty sweet. All right, guys. Well, thanks for going through the whole process of making these primitive bone hooks from all natural materials and primitive tools like the obsidian, the bone antlers, the stone, the sandstone. And yeah, it was a nice process from harvesting the bones from the actual decomposing deer and boiling them down all the way to making the fishing hooks. So I'm pretty excited of how some of them turned out. That was my first time with these certain techniques. I was just kind of going with the flow and seeing how it turned out. I was really amazed of how the obsidian was scoring the bone so well and being able to just kind of break it off and work at it from there. So we've got our hooks from the bone, from the rose bush. We just need to go and collect some cordage. I'm going to go check on these nettles that I've been keeping my eye on. I went and checked them out a few weeks ago and they were only a few inches high. So we'll see where they're at now. But
but I do have some willows in the back here, and we can definitely make some cordage for some string from that. And I'm going to be hitting this lake. It definitely has some cutthroat. I hear from the locals there might be some catfish, which I definitely have a sweet spot for catfish. And I've heard that there might be some pike still lingering around in there, but they tried to weed them out long ago, but there might be still some in there. I don't know. But I don't know if my hooks are really prepared for a pike. But you never know. That last one that I made was pretty big. I definitely feel confident with a nice sized salmon, so you never know. But yeah, so I'm gonna make some, dig up some worms, make some chum from some liver. Back in the day, me and my buddies, when we were just yay tall, we'd throw liver, big red, Chex Mix, break it all up into a bag and throw it in the sun until it dried out, and then we'd make a little chum ball and put it on a hook and throw it in there and catch catfish. So I would love to maybe even do that on a jug line, you know, and see how that works for some passive fishing. But yeah, stay tuned for making the cordage on our next video, and catch us on the lake for some fishing. All right, y'all take care.